Welcome back. In this part I'm going to cover burrs and where to get them and some of the many tools that can be used with these machines. When I was a wee lad, the burr numbering system was pretty straightforward. It was printed what sort of tip it was. In this case, inverted cone, and the size was number 2. This number here denoted how long the shank was, and in this case they're shorties. And with round burrs, the word round and the size of the cutter. Simple. These ranged in size from 0, which was 0.6 mil, up to number 7, which was the big beastie, and was about 2.3 millimeters. Then the International Standards Organisation put their nose in the mix. Now these burrs, the 2 denotes inverted cone, and the 016 is saying that the diameter is 1.6. Why they can't put a decimal point in between there to make it clear, I don't know. So when this new system come in, we had to figure out a whole new language. HP stands for handpiece, which means a long shank burr. This is a handpiece, but for some reason this is not a handpiece, and the number of the burr is completely different. 33.5. Okay, well, this is the smallest inverted cone, which is 0.6 of a millimeter. If anyone out there can explain why they put a half after it, I'd really like to know, and so would the rest of the world. These are Alston burrs, made in England. We use these quite a lot, and steel cone, personal computer, I don't know, that's the size, and they're bringing in the HP once again to denote handpiece. I reckon this brand, Alston once again, is right in the middle of the transition period. Tungsten carbide, they've got the 33.5 handpiece, long shank, but they're still putting the width of the cutter on the label. I use mainly carbide burrs because they last longer, and if you're cutting plated material they perform well, whereas steel burrs tend to go blunt quicker because some plating is rather hard. I use diamond burrs for glass and stainless steel because some stainless is so hard that it's just not worth wasting carbide on. To source burrs, here are a few tips. Try your local engraving booth and ask for some old burrs. Most engravers don't mind handing over their oldies. If they're blunt, you can dress them up a bit on a bench grinder or diamond wheel. Not as good as new, but adequate. Actually, that's not too bad. If you opt for online, remember to search dental burrs inverted cone, because engraving burrs will show mainly diamond burrs or CNC cutters. If you accidentally buy the short burrs, they can still be used in these units. In fact, I use them a lot. These are years old steel burrs and on soft materials are fine. Most dental suppliers don't mind selling to hobbyists. You can try lapidary and gem making supplies. We'll have these burrs. and engraving and shoemaker supplies may be able to fix you up. This set was great value for money because it was packed with diamond burrs, stone wheels, cut-off discs, and buffing mops, and it was only about $20. The thing with diamond burrs, I mean, one like this from the dental suppliers will cost about $20. These sets are great value for money. They're only about between $6 and $10 on eBay, but be sure to order the 2.3mm shank or the 3/32. Otherwise, you'll get the 1/8. If you get the 1/8, you have to grind them down to fit. Yes, I know, they're a bit rusty. My shed does have a leak in it. The beauty with diamond burrs is that when they become blunt, you can put them on the bench grinder to sharpen them up. I've had these burrs for about 30 years and I reckon this one's still got a bit of life in it. These round burrs in whatever length come in handy if you want to do a nice full stop on an engraving job. Pretty. These are the stone wheels that come with that bunning set. I haven't used them a lot, but they're always handy to have. These are some old file type burrs. They're steel. I've used them for different sorts of things over the years. And this little fella is for gem setting. It'll cut the right angle to put a stone into a piece of jewellery. Had to have it. These are handy little wheels. I've always known them as Kratex, but in some parts of the world they are rubberised abrasive wheels. They come in a variety of grits and we mainly use them to erase mistakes in pure metal like gold and silver. If we made a boo-boo on plated gear, then it was game over. And when you've ground off the mistake, these miniature buffs polish the metal back to new. Just a bit of rouge and presto. These stone wheels, I've don't know why I got them. I thought they'd come in handy one day. Let's see what it can do. When you install a new wheel, it's best to start at a low speed, then true it up with an old file. Otherwise, it can break the mandrel and possibly flick you in the nose. You know how you get a new machine and just stash the instructions because you already know how it works? Well, while digging out one of my machines for the last video, I came across this sheet of recommended speeds for certain diameter wheels. Yeah, 40mm, 5,000. So this is possibly why this large cut-off wheel disintegrated. I have these smaller cut-offs and I'm yet to use them, but when I do I'm going to gear up just in case. These diamond cutting discs are good value for money. This set of 5 cost $5 with a mandrel, and they've been the handiest of tools. I'm still on the first one. If I need to cut a quick screwdriver slot, for instance, I just whack the screw in a vise and cut. Another use for these is to quickly sharpen milling cutters, even carbide. Nice. If you're ever confronted with a damaged screw you just can't get out, a neat trick is to use a diamond burr to cut a straight slot. These sanding bands I don't use very often because they're a pain to get on and off. I've worked out that I can peel the abrasive along the joint and comes off pretty easy. Well, you're not going to use it again, are you? And then when I put it back on, I give it a bit of a squirt of silicone and it goes on fairly easy. I think these things are used in the fake nail industry. Speaking of which, when the fancy nail game took off, I was often asked if I could engrave letters onto nails. Must have been a rare sight for the passer-bys to see me carving a girl's nails on my counter. These 2 tools I made to carve wax for lost wax casting. I wouldn't like to have a slipsies with one though. Ew. They're stealing your biscuits, models. Join me next week for lettering styles and layout techniques. See you then.